Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to create delicious chocolates at home without using a mould. They have a homemade rustic look, and did I mention they taste delicious? I'm going to show you 3 different flavour combinations and how to finish them beautifully. Today we're making chocolates. Yes, that's right, homemade delicious chocolates with a truffle centre. Best of all, they're easy to make and they don't require any special moulds. I'm going to show you 3 different flavours: chocolate and coffee, white chocolate and raspberry, and maple and walnut. I'm only going to be making a half recipe of each flavour today because I can't eat all of these and they have to be eaten right. I'll leave the full recipe in the description below. These are the ingredients we need. For the chocolate and coffee flavour, I've got cream, chocolate, butter, coffee powder and coffee beans. For the white chocolate and raspberry, cream, white chocolate, butter, raspberry powder and freeze-dried raspberries. And for the chocolate and maple walnut, cream, chocolate, butter, maple and walnuts. As you can see, it's the same for every recipe. They've all got the cream, the chocolate and the butter. We're just changing the flavours and the garnishes. Let's start with the chocolate and coffee flavour. We need to bring the cream and the coffee to the boil, so I'm going to pour it in here. By doing this, it allows the coffee flavour to infuse into the cream. Now that it is boiling, turn off the heat and pour in the first measure of chocolate. Whisk gently until the chocolate has melted and then stir in the butter until it is smooth and shiny. Now I can pour it into a wee bowl and put it in the fridge to set and harden. Our coffee and chocolate mixture is all cool and firm and ready to roll. Just going to scoop out a little bit. Give it a wee squash and roll it into a ball. Doesn't have to be perfect, and the size of the ball depends on the size you'd like your end chocolate to be. I like to keep mine on the smaller side. It does get messy, so you will need to wash your hands often. Once you have rolled them all, pop them into the freezer while you melt your dipping chocolate. If the chocolate ball is cold, it is easier to chocolate dip it. Here's my melted chocolate. I've done it for 1 minute and 20 seconds in the microwave, stopping it after every 20 seconds and giving it a good stir. In the same video I've linked to in the description below on how to make a paper piping bag, it also details how to melt chocolate in the microwave. I'm going to take one of these chocolate and coffee balls and drop it into the melted chocolate. Lift it up on the fork and tap the fork on the side of the chocolate container. This gets rid of the excess chocolate, leaving a nice even coating around the chocolate ball. Then we'll put it on baking paper to dry. I'm just going to pipe some little decorative chocolate lines over the top and stick on a wee piece of crushed coffee bean. And these are done and ready to eat when they're completely dry. Now we'll make the raspberry and white chocolate flavour. It's the same as before. I'm going to bring the cream and raspberry powder to the boil. I am using freeze-dried raspberry powder to flavour this one. Stir in the butter until smooth and shiny and refrigerate until cool enough to roll. Here's our cooled and set white chocolate and raspberry flavour. We're ready to roll this one too. Just the same as before. Grab a blob, squash it and roll it. And I've got some melted white chocolate here to coat the white chocolate and raspberry balls. We're just going to put one in at a time, roll it over, tap off the excess chocolate and sit it on some baking paper to dry. Going to do some decorative piping stripes over these ones as well and stick some freeze-dried raspberry pieces on top. And these are ready to eat as soon as the chocolate has dried. And lastly, we'll make the maple and walnut flavour. It's exactly the same as before. We're going to bring the cream and maple syrup to the boil. That will infuse that maple flavour into our cream. Make sure you use a good quality maple syrup. It's really worth the added depth of flavour. Once it's boiling, turn off the heat and whisk in the chocolate until melted. Then stir in the butter until smooth and shiny. And then we can pop it in the fridge to cool and set. And our last one is ready too, the maple walnut. I'm going to roll this just like we did the other two. Grab a wee bit, give it a squash, and roll it into a ball. Don't be too pedantic. There are so many delicious flavours you can make. Let me know in the comments some of your favourite flavour combinations. And finally, we can dip the maple and walnut chocolates. And some decorative piping on these to stick the walnut on. Wow, wasn't that easy? If you think these look yummy, don't forget to click the like button. And if this is something you're into, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't eat them all at once.